Welcome to Unstoppable You Now, where we explore the incredible journeys of those who dare to dream beyond the ordinary limits. Look at the massive flock of seagulls circling the old fishing boats, fighting desperately for every single tiny scrap of dead fish. For the vast majority of this flock, flying is simply a basic tool used only to fill their constantly empty, hungry stomachs. They merely learn the simplest ways to flap their wings, traveling from the safe shore to the food source and back again. To these ordinary birds, the magnificent act of flight is never considered an art form, but just a tedious daily survival chore. The deafening noise of their endless squabbling fills the salty ocean air as they aggressively compete for the smallest pieces of food. Every single day repeats the exact same exhausting cycle of desperate hunger, fierce competition, and mindless wandering along the crowded, dirty shore.
They never look up at the vast, limitless sky above them, keeping their greedy eyes firmly fixed on the muddy, shallow waters. This is the only life they have ever known, a predictable existence bound entirely by the primal instinct to survive another day. But hidden among this chaotic, noisy crowd is one young bird who feels a strange, powerful calling from the distant, unknown horizon. This young protagonist stands completely alone on a high, jagged cliff, turning his back on the chaotic feeding frenzy happening far below. He gazes deeply into the dark, gathering storm clouds far across the ocean, feeling a mysterious connection to the wild, untamed winds. The older seagulls mock him relentlessly, squawking loudly that his silly dreams of high flight will never fill his painfully empty stomach. They tell him to stop being so foolish, insisting that a hungry bird with grand illusions will quickly perish in the wild. But the young seagull asks himself a profound question. If life is only about eating, why do we have these magnificent wings? He refuses to believe that his beautiful, powerful wings were created merely to carry him from one floating garbage pile to another. There must be a greater purpose to this existence, a hidden reason for the incredible strength and grace he feels inside him. Ignoring the harsh ridicule of his peers, he takes a deep breath and steps boldly off the edge of the towering cliff. This marks the beginning of his solitary journey, a difficult path of relentless trial, painful failure, and ultimate self-discovery and mastery. He starts by practicing steep, terrifying dives from 1,000 meters high, pushing his small body to absolute extremes in the air. The fierce headwinds batter his fragile frame, forcing him to learn how to balance perfectly amidst the chaotic, unpredictable, and violent storms. He loses control and crashes into the unforgiving ocean waves, his wings aching terribly from the brutal impact and the freezing water. For many long days, he endures intense hunger, choosing to practice his complex flight maneuvers instead of joining the flock for food. Finding your true purpose always requires enduring deep loneliness and sacrificing those comfortable, short-term physical pleasures that keep others completely trapped. Despite the agonizing pain in his battered joints, he refuses to surrender to the easy, mindless life he left behind forever today. He climbs higher into the freezing atmosphere, his determined eyes fixed on mastering the complex aerodynamics of a perfect, high-speed dive. Again and again, he plummets toward the sea, learning to adjust his feathers with precise, microscopic movements to reduce the immense drag. His physical body grows incredibly weak from starvation, but his unwavering spirit becomes stronger and more resilient with every single painful failure. The other birds continue their petty squabbles below, completely unaware of the magnificent transformation happening high above their narrow, limited little world. He realizes that true freedom demands a heavy price, and he is more than willing to pay it with his own blood. The ultimate test arrives as a massive, dark hurricane approaches the coastline,
bringing terrifying winds and deadly lightning to the darkened sky. While the entire flock cowers in fear among the coastal rocks, our brave hero flies directly into the heart of the storm. The violent vortex tries to tear his wings apart, but he uses his hard-earned skills to ride the massive, dangerous updrafts. He spirals upward through the blinding rain and deafening thunder, breaking every known physical limit of what a seagull can actually achieve.
With one final, desperate burst of energy, he pierces through the thick, black ceiling of the raging storm clouds into the unknown. Suddenly, he enters a realm of absolute silence, surrounded by an endless expanse of brilliant, warm, and dazzling golden sunlight up here. He glides effortlessly through this majestic, peaceful space, a glorious paradise that no other seagull in history has ever managed to witness. At this transcendent moment, the desperate search for food is no longer his driving motivation. He has found something much more profound. He flies purely for the immense joy of mastering the boundless sky, experiencing the intoxicating thrill of total, uncompromised, and absolute freedom. A profound realization washes over him. A seagull is not born merely to eat and survive, but to fly with perfect grace. He performs breathtaking acrobatic loops and spins in the golden light, his heart overflowing with a pure, indescribable ecstasy and deep peace. Having conquered the highest heavens, he knows he cannot keep this incredible, life-changing revelation entirely to himself for the remaining days. He folds his wings and dives back down through the dissipating clouds, returning to the noisy shore where his old flock resides. He does not return to boast of his glorious achievements, but to share his profound wisdom with the curious younger generation. He gently shows the little chicks that the vast universe is infinitely greater than a miserable, tiny scrap of dead fish. He teaches them the secrets of the wind, inspiring them to look beyond the mud and aim for the highest stars. Slowly, a few brave youngsters step forward, eager to learn the sacred art of flight and break free from their mundane destiny. The legacy of the outcast becomes a beacon of hope, transforming the entire culture of the flock for many generations to come. Do not just live merely to exist. You must actively search for the true purpose your magnificent wings were born to conquer. When you finally discover your ultimate reason why, the exact methods of how to achieve it will naturally reveal themselves to you. Embrace your unique journey, overcome your deepest fears, and let your unstoppable spirit soar high above the storms of daily life. Thank you for watching Unstoppable You Now. Remember to spread your wings, chase your highest dreams, and we will see you soon.